racism. That's what it is. Uh, I've seen it myself. I've seen it my whole life. And to give our children a better America, we have to tell the truth. And the truth is, we don't address it because we expect somebody else is going to be responsible and take all the ramifications for speaking out on it. And it usually will fall in the hands of the same people who speak out on it all the time. And it becomes what I call accepted. And that's pathetic in America where we're trying to grow. I sent out messages about the racism that I've seen when it came to profiling and seeking blacks to throw in jail when they had plenty of whites to choose from down here in Butler and Warren County. And the way it was presented to me was, if you'll go get black drug dealers since you worked in the city and such, we'll let you carry 5 pounds of marijuana and we won't hassle you about it. I said no, and you can see my story unfold, be it circumstance or what have you. Things got hot in a hurry in my life. So what I did to try to deal with the anger that I felt towards a lot of the people who I had grown to trust and love, who I'm not going to say I blame them for getting out of my way, but I am going to say that there was a certain amount of disrespect that came along with it when it came to things like who we can choose to love, who we have chose to befriend, and whether or not we chose to do the bidding of the Butler and Warren County project. And the only thing that I can really say is it takes a while to comprehend how disgusting it is, because it's a profiling campaign to lock up young black children. I don't want nobody to get locked up. I'm more of a libertarian. I believe that we can do other things besides destroy lives. And that's what it is when you get that number, or you get locked up and reprogrammed by the institutions. I know they're doing a better job under these, privately owned institutions. But you're not going to find too many people that go to prison and come out and ain't damaged. They're damaged, their family's damaged, and usually it's a stain that you don't get rid of for the rest of your life. When you talk about driving 30 plus miles to go seek these drug dealers, and you're ignoring the fact that you have them right here locally, along with a laundry list of overdoses, a laundry list of people who have told and ended up in some unusual circumstances when it came to their demise, and you don't see a whole lot going on to try to figure it out, you sort of scratch your head and wonder a little bit about how big this Trump thing got. His buddy Richard Jones, his biggest spokesperson out of Butler County, the one that was on CNN all the time, was easy to spot as far as his, I guess you'd call it hometown values. When he said that at the Pleasure Inn, if you couldn't speak English, then you couldn't get served there. And I had to ask myself, what about my little brother? I mean, he's hard to understand because he's got a cleft palate. So you're going to tell me that you'd tell him to leave the establishment? You better hope I ain't with him. And he's dead now. But those are the kind of things you have to ask yourself. And when you take a look at the establishment, hell, they had to do well to stay afloat. They only had 10 or 15 people there on Friday night. You figure 3 beers apiece, what little bit of food they offered, uh, you sure got to scratch your head. You usually have more than one employee about what exactly that place is there for. And I'll leave it at that. When we start to divide up and we start to keep our money with our own people, which is something that I've seen on both sides of the fence, so I don't want anybody acting like that's something new. You're talking about not being unified, which is what the United States was supposed to be in the first place, is unified. We are one country with divisions called states. And inside those states, you've got divisions in counties and divisions in cities and so on. But we have to act as one people or we're not unified. With that being said, you take a look out here at some of the issues that face minorities and face police. And the only thing that you can do that's logical is look at it case by case. A lot of times, I don't mean to be mean, but ignorant people want to step up and have an opinion. And they start thinking, this proves that all of this is the same. And that's not the truth. You take a look at cases on their own merit with their own officers' names attached, and you judge them that way. There shouldn't be something like a circle of blue where we're going to protect a police officer who's not doing their job right because it devalues the job of all the other officers who are doing it right. But it's easier for us, especially in the sensationalized media, to generalize and to do what the media's job is, which is stoke the fire to cause a story to be bigger than what it is. And then turn around and it'll take away from a story that should be as intense and passionate as the ones that we see today involving police officers with people being murdered. And that's what it is, folks. I'm not going to call it anything else. When you show up to the scene of a crime, if you kill the man, he better be trying to kill you. I know it's a tough job. I understand it. Don't be a police officer. If you're not willing to go out here and be the guy that's in the middle of the fight, then get out of the fight. But you can't go around here making quick judgments and shooting our kids. If it's not popular, I have to scratch my head and ask for you a parent. Do you ever wonder if your kid's going to get smart with the police officer? Do you want him to be beat the hell out of or shot? That's how quick this thing escalates. Because if they ain't got a weapon on them, what are they doing? Arguing with you? You've got Kevlar on, a Batman belt, and everything else. There has to be some common sense that comes out of all this death and despair and the tears that flow down the faces of these parents. And what it has to be is common sense that's backed up by voting power and backed up by the police officers who want to see justice and they want to see the justice system work as it's supposed to work. So, if you're a police officer and you're involved out there in something as disgusting as this tell on three and go free, especially when it comes to the black names, you have to tell people like Greg Landsman and Steve Wilson and back that up in the media and say, I told them, now let's watch and see what they do so that if they don't correct things, we can vote them out in the next election. That's how the United States of America works. That's how it's worked for going on 300 years. And it's the greatest system in the world. If we're not going to do things the way it's set up to do, then we're undermining the American government, the American way of life, and we're going to lose it.